All right, everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be taking a look at something pretty interesting, actually.
Oh, yeah.
It's about life goals and preparing for the future and where we're getting this information from. Might surprise you.
Okay, I'm intrigued already.
It's actually a YouTube script, believe it or
Oh,
not.
wow, a YouTube script. Okay.
I know it sounds a little strange, but
Yeah.
trust me on this one. Even these simple things, sometimes there's a lot more to them than meets the eye.
Okay, I'm ready to dive in.
So this script, basically, it starts off by defining what life goals are.
Hmm.
Just those things that we want to achieve in our lives, big or small.
Right.
And it breaks it down even further. Short-term goals like finally perfecting that sourdough bread recipe.
Yeah.
And then long-term goals like maybe saving up for a house or something.
Right.
But the thing that I found really interesting about it was that it made me think about the reasons why we set these goals in the first place.
Yeah.
What's the driving force behind them?
It's like that inherent human desire to, grow and progress. And
Yeah.
the script actually shows a bunch of different types of goals visually, like travel, education, career, family. It's kind of highlighting just how different everyone's aspirations can be.
Right.
But the thing that really stood out to me was this idea of goals being like a compass, guiding us towards the future that we envision.
Mm-hmm. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that caught my attention was how much the script emphasized preparation.
Ah.
And they use this really clever analogy. They say, imagine going on a road trip without a map.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So why do we so often approach our life goals without a similar kind of plan?
That's a really good point. And preparation is really all about, bridging the gap between dreaming and actually doing.
Right.
And the script gives some practical examples too, like saving a certain amount of money every month to reach like a financial goal, or setting aside time each week to learn a new skill or work on a project.
Right. It's all about,
It's taking those big, sometimes overwhelming aspirations and breaking them down into smaller, more manageable steps.
instead of feeling overwhelmed by this huge goal we have, we can break it down into smaller bite-sized actions that we can actually tackle.
Exactly.
And I love how the script then connects these actions to actual outcomes visually.
Oh, yeah.
They show images of graduations, people getting promotions at work, others enjoying their dream vacations. It's like a visual reminder of all the great things that can happen when you put in the work.
It's really smart because it taps into our emotions, seeing those tangible results of all that preparation and dedication. But I think it's important to remember that outcomes aren't just about external signs of success.
Right.
It's also about the internal rewards, too.
Yeah.
That feeling of accomplishment, the boost in confidence, the satisfaction of knowing you set your mind to something and you actually achieved it.
Yeah, it's that I did it feeling that makes it all worthwhile.
Exactly.
Now, the script also mentions that they did interviews with people who actually achieved their goals.
Oh.
Now, we don't have the actual clips, unfortunately.
Right.
But it makes me wonder, what kind of stories did they share? Did they talk about the struggles they faced? How did preparation help them overcome challenges and ultimately reach their goals?
That's where the power of storytelling really comes in, Hearing about other people's journeys, their setbacks, and their triumphs can be incredibly inspiring.
Yeah, for sure.
It reminds us that we're not alone in our pursuit of goals, and that even when things get tough, perseverance can lead to amazing results.
Now, towards the end, the script gives 5 tips for setting and achieving goals.
Okay.
And at first glance, they seem pretty simple. Be specific, set deadlines, visualize success, stay flexible, and celebrate small wins.
Right.
But I have a feeling there's more to these than meets the eye.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's a lot to unpack there. Let's start with be specific.
Okay.
It seems simple enough, but so many people make the mistake of setting goals that are way too vague.
Right.
Why do you think being specific is so important?
Well, I think if our goals are too broad, it's like trying to find your way through a maze without knowing where the exit is.
Yeah.
How can we map out a route if we don't even know our destination?
It's like the difference between saying, I want to be better with money, and saying, I want to save $10,000 for a down payment on a condo in the next 2 years.
Right.
That level of detail really changes a vague wish into a clear, actionable goal.
Totally. And that brings us to the next tip. Set deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
Deadlines sometimes get a bad rap. People think they're stressful, but I think they can actually be really motivating. What are your thoughts on deadlines?
I think they're super important for a couple reasons. First, they add that sense of urgency, which helps us avoid procrastination.
Right.
Without a clear time frame, it's easy to just keep pushing things off.
Yeah.
Second, deadlines give us structure and accountability. By breaking a large goal down into smaller steps with deadlines attached to them, we basically create a roadmap for progress.
Right.
It ensures that we're consistently moving forward.
It's almost like having a built-in system of checks and balances.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the next tip, visualize success. This one really caught my eye.
Oh, yeah.
The script even suggests making a vision board.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's any science behind this, or is it just a feel-good technique?
You know, it might sound a bit out there at first, but visualization actually has a pretty strong basis in psychology and neuroscience.
Really?
Yeah. The idea is that when we vividly imagine ourselves achieving our goals, we're essentially prepping our brains for success.
So it's more than just daydreaming.
Definitely. When we do detailed visualization, we're engaging in mental rehearsal. Research has shown that the same neural pathways are activated during both physical and imagined actions.
Wow.
So by repeatedly picturing ourselves successfully completing a task, we're strengthening those neural connections and increasing our chances of actually achieving that outcome in real life.
So it's like creating a mental blueprint for success.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the physical actions either. Visualization helps us manage our emotions too.
Oh, well.
By repeatedly picturing ourselves overcoming obstacles and reaching our goals, we build confidence and resilience. We're essentially preparing ourselves to face real-life challenges with a more positive and proactive mindset.
That's fascinating. Okay, so the next tip seems especially relevant in today's constantly changing world. Stay flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Why is adaptability so important when we're trying to achieve our goals?
Well, let's face it, life rarely goes exactly according to plan.
Right.
You know, unexpected things happen, circumstances change, our priorities might even shift, and all of that can require us to adjust our goals.
Uh-huh.
But staying flexible doesn't mean giving up on our dreams. It's about being willing to adapt, to find new ways forward, and sometimes even redefine what success means for us.
So it was more about the journey rather than rigidly sticking to the initial plan.
Exactly. It's about understanding that setbacks are going to happen and learning to see them not as failures, but as opportunities for growth.
I like that.
And the ability to pivot, to adjust our course without losing sight of the big picture that's crucial for long-term success.
And last but not least, we have celebrate small wins.
Yes.
This one is so important. I think it's easy to get caught up in chasing that big ultimate goal
Yeah.
that we forget to acknowledge all the smaller victories along the way.
Absolutely. This goes back to what we were talking about earlier about intrinsic motivation.
Right?
Celebrating those small wins is like positive reinforcement. It reminds us that we're making progress no matter how small. It keeps us motivated, keeps us enthusiastic, and prevents us from getting discouraged by the long road ahead.
It's like our own personal reward system to keep us energized and focused.
Exactly. By consciously taking the time to acknowledge and appreciate our accomplishments, we're actually strengthening the positive neural pathways associated with success and motivating ourselves to keep striving for more. It's like giving ourselves a little pat on the back, you know, saying, hey, good job. You're doing great. Keep it up.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty amazing how we started with this simple YouTube script, and we've managed to uncover all these really profound insights about setting goals and preparing for things.
Right. Yeah.
What really strikes me is how universal these ideas are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the script focused on personal goals, but I can really see how these same principles could apply to so many other aspects of life.
Absolutely. Think about teamwork, for example, or community projects.
Right.
Even global challenges. They all need clear goals, strategic planning, a willingness to adapt, and recognition of the progress being made along the way.
That's so true. Imagine like a community coming together to tackle something like food insecurity.
Right.
They'd have to define their goals, break the problem down into smaller steps,
Yeah.
delegate responsibilities, track their progress, and celebrate each milestone they achieve.
Yeah.
These principles are fundamental to taking effective action no matter how big or small the issue is.
Exactly. Whether we're talking about personal growth, collaborative efforts, or even tackling those big global issues, the underlying principles of effective goal setting, they pretty much stay the same.
It's almost like there's this universal formula for success.
Yeah.
You define your vision, prepare diligently, stay adaptable, acknowledge your wins, and never lose sight of the bigger picture.
And that last point is crucial. This script really reminds us to keep dreaming big
Yeah.
and to believe in our ability to achieve those dreams. It's like a call to action, you know, an invitation to really envision the future we want and then actually take those steps to make it happen.
You know, when we first started this, I never thought I'd be so inspired by a YouTube script.
Ah, I know, right?
It just goes to show you valuable insights can be found in the most unexpected places.
It's a real testament to the power of curiosity and open-mindedness, don't you think?
For sure. Sometimes those simple things can spark these really deep thoughts and lead us down these fascinating paths of discovery.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you hope our listeners will remember?
For me, it's really understanding that preparation is the bridge between what we want to achieve and actually achieving it.
Yeah.
Whether it's our own personal dreams or goals we share with others,
Yeah.
it's the act of planning, breaking things down into smaller steps, and consistently moving forward that ultimately leads us to success.
And let's not forget to celebrate those wins along the way, no matter how small.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Recognizing our progress and acknowledging our efforts, that's essential for staying motivated and feeling that sense of accomplishment. It's like fuel for the journey.
Right.
It keeps us going and focused on reaching our destination.
So to all our listeners out there, as you embark on your own journeys, remember what we've learned from this unexpected source.
Yeah.
Define your goals clearly, embrace the power of preparation, stay flexible when things get tough, celebrate every victory, and never stop dreaming big.
And remember, the future is shaped by the choices we make today. So choose to prepare, choose to persevere, and choose to create a future that truly reflects your aspirations and values.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you with one final thought-provoking question to consider. The script focused on personal goals, but as we've talked about, these principles can be applied to bigger things too.
Right.
So here's a question. How can you take these insights and apply them to the goal that goes beyond just yourself? A project that benefits your community, your country, or maybe even the world?
Let that question really spark your imagination and guide your actions. We believe in you and your potential to make a difference, one well-prepared step at a time.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Okay.
We'll see you in the next episode. You know, even if that goal feels really big,
Yeah.
it's the journey itself that really matters.
Absolutely.
And remember breaking it down into those smaller steps.
Yeah.
That makes all the difference.
It really does. And celebrating those small wins along the way can really keep you motivated.
That's right. And don't underestimate the power of preparation.
It's that crucial link,
Yeah.
that bridge between our dreams and actually making them a reality.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of life goals and getting ready for the future, we really hope you've picked up some valuable insights that you can use in your own life.
Yeah.
And remember, whether you're focused on personal growth or trying to make a difference in the world,
These principles we've talked about today, they can really help you navigate that path to success.
that's right. Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery.
Absolutely. And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep striving for a future filled with purpose and achievement.
And that's a wrap for today's deep dive. We hope you found